Good morning to all my stitchy friends. How are you? This is Flosstube number 42 and my name is Sally. I'm Flossie Sews and Grows here on YouTube and on Instagram. This is predominantly a channel about cross stitch. I do sometimes talk about other crafts and my allotment when I get round to it. I have actually been to the allotment a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit weedy, but we have had some nice weather to get me there, and we've got lots of green beans growing. We've got courgettes, thanks to my lovely other half who's been busy this summer and kind of taken over the helm a little bit from me. So that has been lovely. I'm almost ashamed to show you any photographs because the weeds are so bad, so I probably won't do that. So today is Friday the 13th of September, so Spooky Friday. Starting to get into the Halloween stitching. It's definitely feeling very autumnal here in the UK. We seem to have gone from having a couple of days of really nice weather to suddenly it's cold. I actually sat with my quilt over me last night when I was stitching, watching TV, because it was chilly. Anyway, thank you for joining me. It's lovely to see you. Whether you're a new, or you're a regular visitor, it's great to have you here. Really, if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you could. I'm now less than 100 subscribers off 2,000 subscribers, and it's my big birthday in 2 weeks' time. So many of you know I'm 50 this year, and it's in 2 weeks' time, and it would be amazing if I could get to 2,000 subscribers for my birthday. It's actually my 2-year anniversary, beginning of September, of me being my Flossiversary. So I've actually been on YouTube now for 2 years. So it's kind of double celebrations of 2 years and turning 50. It'd be great if we could make it a triple and I could get to 2,000. And on my next video, which will be around my birthday, it'd be great if I'm there and I can do a couple of giveaways. That'd be amazing. So please go press subscribe. So many of you have joined me actually in the last kind of 12 months since I started doing the Fun for 50 Sal 2024 with Sarah at Sew Me Sarah, where we have done 50 new starts for us turning 50. And I'm almost getting a little bit sad that we're getting towards the end of the year, and I've only actually got eight new starts left to do. Yeah, and you'll hear a bit later on kind of my dilemma of where I'm going, what to stitch and what not to stitch. So I haven't actually this time got any finishes or fully finishes to show you. You had a few fully finishes on the last video, and I haven't. I've got quite a few things that I'm kind of not far off a finish on. And I've got Stitch in London in 3 weeks. Is it 3 weeks today? 3, I think. And there are a few things I'd really like to finish there, because the things that I've been stitching with friends or things that I started with kind of a Stitch in London. Yeah, so there's a few things I really want to kind of get to a point where I can just finish when I'm there. So hopefully in a month or so you'll see some finished objects for me. But I have had 2 starts, and I've managed to get quite a bit stitched on both of them actually. So the first new start was a start on the 1st of September, and this was Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. And I've started this as part of a SAL, which is #AwayWeStitch, and I've been stitching it with Lauren at Flossabilities, Sherry at Just So Sherry, and Rachel at Talking Dog Stitcher. And I'm stitching mine on, let's see if I need my board's here if I need it. Let's pop it there. So much stuff. I don't think I need it for this one. So I have been stitching this on 36 count XG design, and this is Grandpa's sleeve. And I love this, absolutely love this fabric. And I've made a pretty good start. So I've started in the middle I'm stitching it with the Called For Fancy floss, which is predominantly Gentle Arts. And actually I've got it on this massive ring because I'm also stitching Cinnamon Stars and I'm stitching Feast of Friendship, and they're both autumny colours, and they both, with Away We Ride, have quite a few crossovers. So rather than struggling to find threads and where there's perhaps the same thread in all three, I've put it on one big ring and I've split them out, and then the ones that are joint are in the middle, so they're easy to get to. So I think these are the colours for Away We Ride, with a couple more there we go, a couple more that are actually in here as well. So, but I am missing Garden Gate. I think all four of us have struggled to get Garden Gate. I think Rachel has a little bit, and you can see my wing there needs some Garden Gate, and the windows of the houses. So at the moment I'm just stitching around that in the hope that I might be able to get some when it starts to come into the UK. I think we're struggling. Rachel's, who obviously owns Talking Dog Stitchery, is struggling to order it at the moment. So as soon as that comes in, hopefully it can be ordered and I'll be able to fill in. But that's a wonderful stitch. I'd seen, I bought that from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery. I had put it into my cart, and then I'd seen Lauren say that she'd bought it, and I went straight away and thought, right, I'm definitely going to buy it, because it's one that I've wanted to do for quite a long time, and yeah, it's time to do it. And messaged Lauren straight away and said, you're enabling me, and we then decided to do a stitch along, and then we roped Sherry and Rachel in when we were all at the big stitch together. So that's been really lovely to, I've not met any of the three of them before, and not really chatted to any of them either, other than kind of making purchases from Rachel and kind of making comments on the other two's Flosstube. So it was really nice to kind of start that sale together and actually, you know, cement a friendship there, which was lovely. And actually I do have, so one thing that Sarah and I have both been doing as part of our Fun for 50 sale has been, before we started, we asked you, our viewers, to give us prompts to try and fit our stitching. So try and, you know, stitch something in pink, and we would pick a chart that was pink or have something that was pink. And I've not been very good over the last couple of videos about doing my prompts, so today I've tried to write them down, and I'll try and remember to tell you. But for Away We Ride, the prompt was given to us by Natalie of Sew Stitch Sew Nat, and Natalie's prompt was stitch something with a blackbird. And as you can see, I've already stitched two of the blackbirds. So we've got one here without his wing and a little one down here. And actually I have to say, I'm really loving the way certainly that orange is popping on this fabric. Really, it's just, and it's a wonderful fabric to stitch on. Actually, I'm really enjoying it. The next new start, so the prompt for this was, there were two actually, Janice Pryor and Ros Clark both gave the prompt of something that makes you laugh, and Ros also gave another prompt of something with a penguin. Well, this hasn't got a penguin on it, but Ros, there aren't any penguins on any of the charts that I'm going to do for the rest of the year, so I thought this probably was the closest to a penguin. So this is the Quacker, and it's by Mikael at Star Parade's design, and you've definitely heard me talk about this. This was a big stitch. This came out of the big stitch. So Mikael came and sat at our table and had his model stitch. He pulled it out, and was like, oh, I've just finished this. And we were like, oh, everybody went absolutely mad. We absolutely adored it, and we all decided we were going to do a stitch along together. And we had other lovely friends from other tables hearing our laughter, wondering what was going on, coming over and having a look and joining in too. So this does make me laugh, and it reminds me of being at the Big Stitch, all the laughter that I had with my friends and my new friends there. So this is just one of those really feel good ones for me. And this is how far I have got so far. So trying to figure out where I should be looking, where my camera is today. I feel like I'm a bit back to front. So this is stitched on 40 count aqua Zweigart, and I just love my little duck there in bubbles. So a lot of the ladies who are stitching this, and Mikhail himself, actually have done it or are going with monochrome, but actually I decided to go a bit crazy and I've pulled out some of my Roxy floss that's already in my stash, and those are the initial colours that I've started with. One of my favourite colours, Great Lakes, that's that dark blue there. And as I go, I have other colours in my stash. I have a couple on order. There's a couple of colours that I thought, oh, they might be quite useful, so I might order those. But there's also a couple of other projects that I'm stitching with Roxy Floss that I've got colours in that I definitely, when I get to it, will add more colours. So it's just going to be a really colourful, fun Quacker Sal. So our hashtag for this is #Quackalong, and I know that this has actually been taken up by a lot of you. A lot of you have seen it. Other floss tubers that are doing it who were on my table were Laura from Cotton and Clay. So you'll have heard her talk about it. Mrs. Fisher Stitches, who's Lizzie, she was on the next table and she came over, and she was one of the ones that saw us having fun and had to join in. So she's stitching it. So there's a lot of people that have come along to join us with this one, and I'm hoping at one on a maybe quieter floss tube next year when I've got a little bit more time and I'm not doing my 50 new starts and not under the pressure there. I've tried to save as many of the pictures that you've tagged me in to say that you're starting along and stitching with us, so that I can mention you all at a later stage, and hopefully, you know, if you're happy, show everybody some of the progress that everybody's making on the stitch along. So, you know, that's been a fabulous one that I've really felt has brought a lot of us together, and you know, I'm really hope that Mikhail's thrilled that his pattern has just, you know, proved so popular and taken us all a bit by storm. So that was start number 2. So those are the only starts I had since I last spoke to you. So I'm starting to slow down a little bit, and really then try and get some work on my whips. So I think so a couple of videos ago, Sarah and I did a Zoom call together that we recorded for you and talked about our plans for the rest of the year. And Sarah did mention that she has more finishes than I have got. I was slightly ahead with the number of starts, but she had more finishes. So, you know, you goad me a little bit, Sarah. I have to try and catch up. So at the moment, I am trying for finishes. But as I said earlier, there's quite a few things that are just not quite there, that are just getting there. So whip number 1 was the Stitch in London 2023 Twin Bird Pincushion. And this is by Chloe Wood, who is Girl with the Gavel Stitches. This was number 1. This is the first stitch for our Fun for 50 sale that Sarah and I both started together on New Year's Day. So really, that was how long ago? 9 months. It should really be finished. And here is my progress. So it's not far off. So the front is finished. The back is nearly finished, and I have finished one of the sides. I've nearly finished the second side. This just needs to be have a back stitch around it, and then I need to do the two shorter ends as well. So I'm making really good progress. I wanted to kind of ask your opinion on what you thought I should stitch in here. Now, the pattern that Chloe did, she charted this up as Stitch in London 2023, and I've already done a Stitch in London. So we also had, this was a chart that we were gifted, well, not gifted, it was part of our kind of welcome pack at Stitch in London last year. And the other one we had was the Modern Folk Embroidery 10 Merry Sailors. So that one I have put Stitch in London 2023. I think for this one, although I met Sarah in person at Stitch in London 2023, I do want to make this a little bit more about our Sal this year and about our birthdays. Now, Sarah in hers has put Stitches of 1974. That's an option. I could do that. I'm sure Sarah won't mind me copying. But the other thing that I thought I might quite like to do is put Fun for 50 Sal 2024. So, what do you think? Shall I put Stitches of 1974, or shall I put Fun for 50? Or Fun for 50 Sal? Or hashtag Fun for 50 Sal? What do you think I should do? Just to let you know, I have stitched this on a 40 count mystery fabric, so I don't know what it was. I had it in my magic stash bag that I've now nearly depleted, and I've stitched this with Roxy Floss Co threads, and which are Royale, which is a beautiful blue, Pewter, the grey, and then those pink accents that I've added in are Pink 182, which is an absolutely great name. So I think those have just been perfect for that. So let me know what you think. I would like to get this finished during Stitch in London. So that's one that definitely will go back in the box that of to be stitched this time round. Next up, this is Coffee and Eggs by the Artsy Housewife. Love, love, love this one. I'm stitching this on, I will pop photos if I've got them, and I think I have for all of my whips this time of where I was last time you saw it. So I'd got to a little bit, I think, of a point with this one where I just needed to get on and get the skirt finished. That skirt actually has taken quite a lot of stitching. It's just needs to be thought about, and there's a couple of places where it did go wrong and had to either frog it, or I think down here I've got a bit where I put one of the red slightly the wrong way, and I've just stitched over it with a mustard thread, and I don't think you can't really see it. So I made quite a bit of progress here. I finished the egg. That was quite easy stitching. I've made a real inroad with that skirt, that it's not far off at all, and then that coffee mug has been nearly completed. That was great. I did the outline of this, and then actually I was doing a Zoom with some friends and filled in the coffee for that. So I feel that has come on quite far, although you can see there's still quite a lot to stitch. Oh, and I have started a little butterfly there as well. You can just see this is really quite a big chart. It's quite a big chart. It's much bigger than you think. So it's still going to take me quite a bit of time. I started this on February the 14th as part of a sal with my friend Lisa, who I met at Stitch in London last year. So she's from Germany, and actually she finished it. She was at the next table to me at the Big Stitch, and she finished it. I think the evening of the Big Stitch, the evening that the Big Stitch ended, she finished it. So our hashtag for that was We Love Coffee and Eggs Sal. And yes, Lisa, well done. I'm still going, and this will definitely be a whip into next year. there's still quite a bit to do on it. Now this is where I've got quite a few Roxy Floss Co. Threads, because I pretty much did my own conversion of Roxy Floss. There's a couple there that are called for, that, well, not the called for, the colours that Floss Boss Hannah at Roxy Floss Co. did or at Evertotes did a conversion for this, but I'd already bought threads for it, or got threads in mind. There were a couple that I'd already got, like Colonel Mustard. There's a pretty obvious one for the mustard colour in that jacket and dress. But so these are my colours. Luckily there's a couple of them that are the same as Hannah's, and then I've just got a couple of DMCs there actually as well, just that I didn't have quite the right Roxy Floss colour. So it's predominantly in Roxy Floss, and some of these will be used in the Quacker stitch along as well. But yes, that will definitely be going into 2025 as a whip, because it won't get finished this year. It won't get finished this year because there's a lot of stitching. One that I would like to get finished sooner rather than later is Easy Peckings. I bought this as a PDF, so let's just do that, because I've double printed, excuse me, the front of the chart and the charts on the back. So this is by Kelly at Cosford Rise Stitchery, and this is a obvious one for me, of being one that I'd really like. I just need the board for this one. Is a chicken one. So since you last saw this, I've managed to finish that fence all the way across, and pretty much finish I think I've finished the cockerel, and I've almost finished this hen, which is in the middle. So really the bulk of the rest of that to do now is the hen at the end, so number 3. So I think this can be finished pretty soon. I don't think it'll be too long before it's done. And I was stitching this with my friend Rachel, who is Stitchy Rach. Rach, haven't had a floss tube from you from a while. Would love to see one. And I met Rach at Stitch in London last year, and looking forward to seeing her again this year. So hopefully we'll both take these along and we can show our progress to each other. I'm stitching it on a 40 count light mocha, a Zweigart, which was kindly gifted to me as part of an exchange by my lovely friend Audrey. And I'm stitching it in a mix of the called for fancy flosses and DMCs. So it was all fancy floss and all DMC, which Kelly provided. So called for fancy floss, but Kelly also did a DMC conversion, and I've done a mix of the two. So my favourite colour, I love this. This is Nighty Night, and I've used that again later for Light by Barbara Anno, so you'll see that I've used it in 2 quite different patterns, and it does look a little bit different in the 2 of them. So there we go. So that one, you should see a finish before too long, I hope. So that's Easy Peckings. Up next is, this is I just wish I had more time. I just wish I had more time. With Thy Hands by Teresa Koga, and I am stitching the big old one on that. So I originally spotted this and fell in love with it when Sally at Stitchy Sally decided to do it for her 6 for 60 last year for her birthday, and my friend Elaine, Ellie Welly Stitcher, joined her. And at the time I couldn't get the pattern in the UK. Nobody had it in stock, so I just said, right, I'm going to hang on. And Jeff P. Smith and Trudy got it on, I think they got it at Market this year, at Nashville Market this year. So as soon as it came up on their eBay shop, I bought it so that I could join in. And also joining in on this were my friends Caroline, who is at Caroline Stitch Corner, and Natalie from Stitch So Nat. And I do have a prompt for this as well, actually. This does have some nice quite big trees in it, and the prompt came from Cynthia Veal and from Karen Breckschneider, and the prompt that they gave was stitch something with a tree in. So I've got two there. So covered that one off. So I have made a little, I feel like I've made quite a lot of progress since you last saw this. I have only stitched a couple of nights on it, but you can see I have filled in the house, the red of the house, and just done a couple of lines on the roof. I wanted to have this in good stead, that I could take this to stitch in London, or I could take it to a stitchy day or have it for a Zoom where there is fill-in. So I've got the fill-in of the windows to do, and there's still the roof to do as well there. There's a deer here, stag, deer, I'm not sure which one, which I've stitched, and I got up to the hand as well. So yeah, some good progress. I'm stitching this on 36 count vintage country mocha. Wonderful. I think both Sally and Elaine stitched it on vintage country mocha actually. And I'm using it's predominantly DMC, and there's a couple of Weeks Dye Works called for as well, which I've got, but I know that the colour of the trees just needs to be watched. I think there's a Weeks Dye Works in there and a DMC, and they're quite similar, so I might need to just play around with that one when I get to it. So the hashtag we are using on that is hashtag with thy hands, Sal. So do please come and join us if you can. There are the threads for that. I've put those on lovely floss drops from Charlie Feathers. I can't remember if I bought these or if she gifted them, but I think she might have gifted them because I've got that one that says friend on it. So, but those are lovely, lovely colours, as Teresa always does. And talking about lovely colours, my next whip is Light by Barbara Anna. So this is one that Sarah and I have been stitching together. And the lovely colour is that gorgeous fabric that I'm doing it on, which is a fabric of the month that came from Crafty Kate. Now, this is also part, so Sarah and I doing this one together, and this is a free chart from Barbara Anna, so many of you have joined in with us, which has been absolutely amazing. And again, I've got a list, and I think when it comes to me perhaps finishing it, I'll also mention everybody who has tagged us and said that they're joining in and stitching with us on this one. So this is stitched on a 36 count fabric by Crafty Kate. I think I've already said that. Am I repeating myself? I am. And I have, inspired by Jacinta at Crafting on the Plains, changed my colours. She'd used for the dress, she'd used cinnamon. Is it cinnamon twist? Or is it just cinnamon? Yeah, cinnamon toast. She'd used classic colour words, cinnamon toast, for the dress. But I actually felt that I really liked, this is where I've used Nighty Night again. That dark purple. And so that inspiration took me to coming up with that. So I've been working on the dress, trying to get the stars filled in. I think the tip of Foxy's tail has been done, and some more of the face coming up there. But my next dilemma, and I think I drop the threads? Oh, no, there we go. So I have asked this on my Instagram, and I've had mixed responses. So the next thing for me to start thinking about when I've got the dress and the fox done is the vines that go all the way around. And the called for these are DMC 926 and 3768. So these blue colours. Now, I quite like, or I think, now I would usually go for blue. I much prefer blue. I'm not a massive fan of green. However, in this instance, I think I've picked 319 and 502 DMCs. And I think, actually, they look quite fantastic on that purple fabric. What do we think? Blue or green? I think these green are going to pop fantastically. I think they're going to look really great with that blue dress as well. I think the blue will look lovely, but I'm not sure they'll pop quite as much. And I think because it's vines, I kind of think green maybe should be, I don't know. So I have asked this question on my Instagram, and I've got a vote on my Instagram, and it's 50-50, so it's not helping me much. So again, what do you think? Let me know below on your comment what colour you think I should go with. So, of course, this is also stitched on a Wednesday night with Stitchy Sally as part of hashtag Barbara Anna Wednesdays. And we do have a little gang now of people that join us on a Wednesday night. So we don't do a Zoom or we don't kind of meet up. We just stitch at home on our Barbara Annas, and we know that we're all stitching on it. And I have to say, I'm not stitching on this other than a Wednesday. And on a Wednesday, I'm sometimes stitching other stuff as well, because I'm conscious I haven't got a slot to start another Barbara Anna this year now. So I've got to make this one last until New Year, where I can start. I'm out of my 50 new starts and I can start another. But actually that vine work and all the berries that are on the vine around it are going to take quite a bit of time. So I think, you know, one or two threads every Wednesday, and it's slow and steady progress that I will get there eventually. So there we go. So I would love to know your opinion on the colours on that one. My last whip is another beautiful colourful one, which I've really enjoyed doing, and this is Summer Bouquet by Yasmin's Made with Love, and it is just the threads on this one, just an absolute colourful array of wonderfulness, just so colourful and just lovely. I've pulled some purple out there. I'll have to put that away. And this has been actually a really good little stitch for me. This has been, so Felicity has started back at school, obviously, 2 weeks ago. And so started back at dance as well. And her dance timetable has changed a little bit, that she has one class on a Wednesday night. And it's a 40-minute class. Every other night she has 2 or 3 classes a night, so one of us can take her, drop her off. She's old enough that she gets herself from class to class and can look after herself if she needs a snack or needs something to drink, and then we'll go and pick her up at the end of the evening. But there's this one night where she just has one class, and it's a 10-minute drive. So there's no point in dropping her off, driving home, because as soon as you get home, you'd be turning around to drive back again and pick her up. So I've taken her the last couple of weeks. So this has been a stitch that I've done in the car. So you'll see from my previous picture that I have made some progress. So I've done these couple of flowers have been started here, finished the vase, and I've done quite a bit of the inside of that flower there. In fact, I think I might have actually finished stitching that. I don't think I'd done all of the red on that. I can't quite remember. So again, this is one that is making really good progress, and I think isn't far off or should be finished this year. So I'm stitching this on the call for fabric, which is Beautiful by Fabrics by Crafty Kate, and I'm using all of the called for DMC, although there is one that has been discontinued, that's in there. 731 is a called for, which has been discontinued. The substitute for 731 is 732, which is also in here. So I stitched something in which should have been 731 a couple of nights ago and thought, oh no, that's too close to the colour that it's next to. So actually I am going to have a look at what other greens I've got in my stash and make my own substitution there. So there we go. So that is my final whip for this time round. So I've managed to get quite a bit done, in between work, life, etc, etc. But there we go. Always try and make some time for stitchy time. That's what I say. So, plans. So, well, I've got eight more new starts for this year. So we definitely have my birthday start, which I've already told you about. And this is, so, Americana Blue. So 2 weeks time I'll be starting this one. And this is from October House Fibre Arts. Absolutely love it. Sarah and I will be doing this together, and I do have a prompt for this one. Jane Copeland said stitch something with a 50 in it, and actually this is the year here, so this is for 2023, but I'm actually going to stitch a 50 there to make it it's my 50th birthday stitch. And I have ordered some, and it's quite a big stitch. I've ordered some Labelle cottage garden thread for that, and I'm stitching it on a beautiful piece of fabric that I was gifted by the lovely Catherine. We did a stitch across the pond exchange, and this came with my stitchy gifts from those missing stitches. It's not a named fabric, but I think it's going to look amazing with that blue. So that is one Sarah and I are doing together. So we will be starting that on the 26th of September. Now I did tell you that I was going to start Modern Folk Embroidery Big Stitch 2024. And I'm still really, really tempted to start this. My dilemma is I also have a couple of things that I would like to stitch for a couple of friends for gifts, and I need to start them this year because they need to be finished by the end of the year or the start early part of next year. So I've got eight new starts to do. Obviously my birthday start and Sarah's birthday start, and we have two other starts that we have planned. My problem is I just want to stitch everything. I've got these two secret stitches. Do I count them as my 50, or do I just ignore them and stitch them and not even show them to you until they're finished and gifted? That'll take me over 50 new starts for this year. Will it? Maybe. If I want to start this, and there's another one that I want to start too. So I'm still really tempted. I've got some fabric for this. I've got this amazing Cottage Garden zinnia that I think I'm going to use. Not sure if I've got quite enough. So I've also got this Bejeweled from Classic Colourworks that I might just do some of the writing in. So watch this space. I still want to start this one. Yeah, but I might end up going over 50. Is that allowed? Because the other one, so I have a new friend. I've met a new friend. I met Karen a couple of weeks ago on a Zoom call. Karen is KB8 Stitches. I say I have a new friend. She doesn't know she's my friend yet, but she is. So I have watched Karen's Flosstube from the start. I think she's got 20 episodes. And Karen also turns 50 this year. So she's 50 in November. So she's just 2 months younger than me. And Karen and I really, really like the same stitching. Every single Flosstube that I've watched, she showed something that she's either started stitching, she's got in her stash, or she's finished that I have either stitched or, and yeah, we get that with a lot of people, don't we? We get it with a lot of people that we all stitch the same things and da-da-da. But it was just so funny. It just really tickled me how alike the things that we like to stitch are. And yeah, so I've gone and watched all of Karen's Flosstube. You must go and watch her. She's really, really lovely, and she's quite a prolific stitcher. She stitches quite a lot. And there were things that, obviously I was watching some of her floss tubes from last year, and I was like, oh, I've got that, or I've just started that. I wonder if you've started it yet. And so there's been some quite funny conversations between the two of us where she said, oh, you'll have to keep watching to find out. But one thing she's talked about is this one. Hello Halloween from Teresa Kogan. Now, she is starting this on the 1st of October, and I should have written down who she's starting it with, and I didn't, and it's completely gone out of my mind. But the hashtag for this is hashtag Hello Halloween, and I think actually there also is a hashtag of a hashtag Black Cat. But I'll pop it here so you can see. So Karen on the 1st of October is starting. Now, she isn't starting, she's not doing the big one. Which one is she doing? Oh gosh, can I remember? Oh yes, I know which one she's doing. She's doing this one. I can't bend the book. I'm not going to bend my book to show you. So Karen's starting this one from this book, but I originally had this on my list to start this year, and I knocked it off because I thought I've got other things. I've got those secret stitches. It might have to go. But then I watched Karen's latest video yesterday where she announced that she's going to start this one on the 1st of October. I just thought, oh, I want to do it. I really want to do it. And I've got I've got a beautiful fabric from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics, which I think will look great. And yeah, so I'm going to add that one in. So 1st of October, hashtag Hello Halloween. I'm in. So that will be, so what are we at? That will be start 42. This will be 33 or 34 to 40. So I've done 41 new starts. My birthday start will be 42. This could be 43, but if I start the Modern Folk embroidery as well, that'll be 44. So yeah, it's getting up there, isn't it? It is getting up there. Rapidly. You've already seen that for October, Sarah and I are stitching this one together. So this is Home for Christmas. And this has a prompt. The prompt for this one is a Christmas ornament. And that was from, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name right, Noof Ghazi. Noof? Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Who said a Christmas ornament. I'm not sure if that's a bit big for a Christmas ornament, but it's Christmas and I will display it. So you display ornaments, so it counts. And just on, there was a prompt for this one as well, which came from Laurie Nicholas, who said stitch something with a cat. And also Ros Clark gave a prompt of stitch something with a fabulous border. And I think you will agree that those cats are fabulous borders, and they almost look like sunflowers, don't they? So I could almost just sneak into the back of Caroline at Caroline's Cross Stitch Corner. What was her Sal? Sunflower September, maybe just a bit late, starting in October. But so Sarah and I are starting this one together. I believe we're starting this on the 25th of October. And when we talked about it on our joint floss tube a month ago, we talked that we almost had it kitted up, and actually the fabric for that is Winter Brew. So just bear that in mind when I show you my haul. There we go. So that's the 25th of October one. So as you can see, rapidly getting towards the end of the year, rapidly thinking, what do I want to stitch most? Always thinking I want to stitch it all. So yeah, dilemmas. One thing that I really did want to stitch was the Love Poppet Sal this year. I've already stitched, well, I've nearly finished. That's going to be a finish soon. Garden of Dreams. There's a Garden of Dreams. Oh, goodness. What's the name on it? Garden of Dreams is the Dreaming of Summer. There we go. I knew Garden of Dreams is the Barbarana one that I did, and I was stitching them at the same time, and I kept getting confused. But yeah, I've nearly finished that one from Love Poppet. But the latest one that Claire released from Love Poppet was Night Riders Sal, which was another 4-part stitch along, which started on the 29th of August. So I think the second part was released perhaps yesterday. Now, I did a giveaway for this, for the PDF for this, on my last video, and the winner was Kelly Green, and Kelly hasn't contacted me yet. So Kelly, please do contact me as soon as possible. Either you can message me on Instagram, or you can email me. My contact details are below. If you haven't contacted me by the next time I film, I will give it away to somebody else who watched or commented on the video that I gave it away on, because it's such a shame that, you know, there's somebody out there probably that wants to stitch it, and I want to give it away, and, you know, before the sale finishes, really, it'd be great that somebody could have it and start stitching it. So Kelly, please get in touch and let me know your contact details so that I can get Claire to send over the PDF, or certainly the parts that have been released to you. Haul. Well, haul. I did get some haul on before I filmed my last video, actually, and I completely forgot to show it to you. I couldn't resist getting this one. I'd admired it since the designer showed me a picture of it at the Big Stitch, and that of course is Cabin in the Woods by Lauren at Flossabilities. Lauren and Sam at Flossabilities. I just think this is absolutely beautiful, and actually I have been having a chat with my friend Marie. So many of you will know Marie of Stitches and Diamonds, and Marie and her husband have just set up a new company called Swan Bay Fabrics, and they are going to be dyeing fabric, which is absolutely wonderful. We have some wonderful fabric dyers in the UK and certainly in Wales, so Marie will be joining the lovely Kate, who is also in Wales, and Kate is a very good friend of mine, and I regularly buy fabric from Kate, but there's always room for more. So I think Marie is going to be an absolutely fantastic addition to the UK cross stitch fabric dyers world. So I don't know how Marie picked up that I'd bought the chart. Did I message her? I can't remember. Or she messaged me because I'd said I'd bought it. I think perhaps in a group that we both belong to. And I was looking at the fabric colourways that Marie has got on a picture, and I was thinking there was a particular one that might look good. And so I've pulled the colours. Aren't they fantastic? Absolutely beautiful. So these are all the called for DMCs. I had all of them in my stash because I'm a lucky girl. Absolutely gorgeous colours. And so Marie is launching her website for Swan Bay Fabrics on the 14th of October, but she will do an initial launch at Stitch in London. So I'm going to be taking those colours along with my PDF of Cabin in the Woods and trying to see if one of Marie's fabrics will look good. There's one I've got in mind that I think it'll look good on. Yeah. So Marie is predominantly concentrating on linen and higher count linens. So they are going to have 12 colourways of more neutral colours, which suits me really fine because I get a lot of my kind of vibrant colours from Kate as part of Fabric of the Month, which I stitch a lot of my Barbara Annas on and things that are a bit more quirky. But I still do like to stitch quite traditional stuff. There are a few samplers in there, so it's really good to have some neutrals on offer and in my stash, hopefully after Stitch in London. So Marie and hubby will be concentrating on 32 to 46 count linen and 16 to 20 count Ada, but I think they are at the moment testing 56 count linen as well, for those of you crazy people who like stitching on really small stuff. I'm just sitting here stroking these now, and they're so beautiful. I need to put them down. So on the 14th of October, please do go over and have a look at Marie's website. I will, if I know what it is, I certainly know what her Instagram is, and which is Swan Bay Fabrics. If we know the website address when I publish this, I will also put that down below as well. What else did I buy? Oh, well, today is Friday the 13th. Witchy Stitcher had a Friday the 13th sale. So this morning I got an email. This is a code if you want 13% off. I could not resist this pattern. Leave me alone, I'm cross-stitching. This has been stitched by a couple of my friends, and they've shown it off a couple of times. And I've just thought, oh, I love it. And it was a Patreon. So both the friends that I've seen stitching it belong to Witchy Stitcher Patreon. I don't, so missed out on getting it when it was released initially to Patreons, but Witchy Stitcher has just released it to the general public, so I bought it. Me, who said I wasn't going to buy any new charts, I bought it, couldn't resist. So yeah, got that one. That'll be a next year's start. I love it, but there's nothing else I can bump. There's nothing else I can bump. And I did another little bit of shopping as well. Rachel from Talking Dog Stitcher is going to be starting to sell fabric, and she had put some on Instagram about 6 weeks ago saying, would anyone, I've got some initial bits of fabric, would anyone like some? And I said, yes, please. It had gone. So she contacted me and said, I've got some more in, would you like some? And I said, yes, please. So I got a fat quarter of Winter's Brew, which is the call for that Home for Christmas chart. And I'd never thought, I know that Michelle from Mama Loves You GB also got some of this from Rachel, and she said, oh, it smells like coffee. It does. Interesting smell. I think I prefer the smell of XG Designs fabric. That must be fabric softener. It's gorgeous. So of course, things can't travel alone. I was just short of a couple of threads for my Feast of Friendship and Cinnamon Stars and Away We Ride. They were all four of those colours are for one or another, or two or three of those stitches. Yeah, I think Brandy is in all three actually, so that was one I really needed. So those came from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery as well. So that was my bit of haul. There might be some more haul. Maybe I'll talk about that next week, because actually this afternoon I'm taking my mum to the Nimble Thimble. Chris, who owns the Nimble Thimble, her husband frames things, so mum has a stitch that she'd really like to get framed, so we're dropping that off this afternoon, and I think I might take something to be framed as well, so watch this space. I was going to come back and talk to you after the Nimble Thimble, but in actual fact we're up to about 53 minutes at the moment, so I think probably I won't. I'll save that for the next video. Who have I been watching? I have been watching Caroline at Caroline's Cross Stitch Corner, because she has been doing her Sunflower September, and I haven't joined in because I have already got my I already had my planned stitches for September, but I did want, I'm not sure if Caroline will have seen this. This is from Stitchy Princess Black. Now the designer for this is in the Ukraine, and she released this chart around the time that the war started in Ukraine, and a lot of people stitched this. So I bought this quite quickly, and it was one, I mean, I think this is on I think that's on a 28 count lamb's wool, which I had in my stash from when I was stitching 15 years ago. And so, you know, it's been stitched up for quite a while, because I'm now at one strand 36 count or 40 count stitcher rather than 28 count with two strands over two. but I just remembered, I walked past it on my wall and just thought I must show it to you again, just to remind you who the designer is. And you know, perhaps don't forget about her. You know, she's still in Ukraine, and I think, you know, our friends over there still need some support. So I did change the colours of her dress to match the Ukraine flag. So yeah, that's just for Sunflower September. There we go. Who else have I been watching? Well, of course, I've told you I've met Karen and KBH Stitches, and I've watched a lot of her Flosstube over the last week and a half. Also, the latest video from Jackie at the Comfort Stitcher. I've watched Jackie since the beginning. She, you know, everybody, when she first did her first Flosstube, everyone was like, "Oh, the Comfort Stitcher, you must watch her. She's great," and she is. Jackie is really lovely. She's really getting into kind of wanting to learn about the samplers she's stitching, and one in particular from go and watch her, find out more. But really, you know, talking to lots of people to find out the history of a sampler in particular from, it's from Gigi, so I can't remember who Gigi, I want to say Scarlet House, but I can't remember. I don't know if that is Gigi, and I can't remember which sampler it is, because you know, I haven't written it down. But Jackie's latest Flosstube, she'd messaged me a couple of weeks ago to say, really love your Barbara Anna light, I love the fabric, what is it? And of course I've put her in touch with Kate, and she's now ordered some of that beautiful fabric from Kate. It was a fabric of the month, but Kate is happy to be dyeing it for Jackie, and I think Jackie's ordered something else as well, so that all works out brilliantly. But Jackie did show my my progress on Barbara Anna Light, so that was just a little thrill to have my stitching showed on someone else's channel, so that was wonderful. So thank you for that, Jackie. And all popping, I'm sure you probably all already do watch her, because she's hit hit Flosstube by storm and got quite a lot of subscribers already. But if you don't, go and have a watch of the Comfort Stitcher, who's Jackie. One final thing, I had to show you this one today because, you know, this I'm 50 in 2 weeks, and this is a stitch by Mum. I haven't shown you one for a couple of weeks, and I was talking to my friends about this one on a Zoom call. I was like, "Oh, have I shown the box that my mum made me?" And they're like, "No, don't think so." This is a box that my mum made me. And I'm just going to take the drawer. It's got a drawer. It's a games box, and actually it's got, the games box is making it quite heavy because we've got dominoes in there, we've got cards, we've got drafts. So let me just take that out because it's actually making the box quite heavy and hard for me to hold. So this is the box that Mum made for me. So she made this for my 30th birthday because you can see here there's the 30. Now it's got my initials on it from before I was married, and it's actually got my ex-husband, my daughter's father's initials on as well, because our birthdays, mine was in September and his was in October, and we were the same age, so this was the year that we were both 30, so she actually stitched it for both of us. But you know, that's okay, we don't mind that his initials are on it, that's fine. And actually Mum, so my initials were SJC, and my mum has got the same initials, so you can see down there she stitched her initials in that as well, and it's absolutely beautiful. Oh, it's just so predominantly black work, but in a beautiful green. You've got some of the, let me do it this way so you don't get the little glare of the, it's just exquisite. Her stitching is just incredible. Shit this way up as well so you can see the SJC the right way up. Yeah, just amazing, just amazing. And of course I forgot to look up who this was from. I've got a feeling it's probably drawn thread. I've got a feeling it's probably a drawn thread pattern, but I'm not entirely sure. So probably what I need to do is look that up, and I'll tell you on the next video that I've looked it up and who it was that the designer is on that one. So we're about an hour. There's been lots to share with you this week. Just so much stitching and just, you know, joyful happiness of meeting new people online, chatting, stitching the same things with so many of you. It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and really excited that obviously I've got Stitch in London coming up and I'm going to see some friends there. And just, yes, Zoom calls I'm arranging with friends and new friends and watching new YouTubes, meeting new people online, in person. It's been a wonderful couple of months, and I think it will continue. So I hope that you are also feeling the love of this wonderful community that we're in, and you know, if you feel you want to join a little bit more, if you feel, oh, I don't quite feel like I have a friend yet, you know, start commenting on people's Instagram posts, comment on their Flosstubes, and people will reply and start a conversation. And you know, just I've met some lovely people by just commenting on things and striking up a conversation. And you know, that's fantastic. It's a wonderful way to meet people. And I think, you know, all the people in our community are so open and welcoming. And you know, some people find it a little bit harder to make friends, but I think or a little bit shy, but I think we all understand that and appreciate it, and just, you know, happy to embrace people that want to be a little bit quieter about it. That's absolutely fine. So, you know, please comment below. I'd love reading your comments on what you think of my stitching and what I'm up to. And you know, there's a couple of things there that I need a bit of help with. So please do comment. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Please try and help me get to 2,000 by my birthday. That would be a great birthday present from you all. That would be absolutely wonderful. So I'll be back in 2 weeks when I'm not quite sure what's happening for my birthday. Yeah, there are plans, but I don't know really what they are. So I'm hoping I get time to come and video on the day after my birthday, so 2 weeks today. But if not, it might just be a couple of days later. We'll just see. I'll keep you up to date on what is occurring. But it's been lovely to have a chat to you all. Lovely to be here and get the opportunity to. So happy stitching, and I shall see you in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.